Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. How is everybody tonight? Good. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause for coming out tonight on behalf of Whittier Street Health Center and Regina, Pisa. We are going to have a lot of fun tonight. I am going to be your master of ceremonies. I'm going to keep it clean. Is that good? No. They told me keep it clean. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to raise spirits, funds, and awareness, ladies and gentlemen, for a great organization. And right now, it is my duty, my honor, and my supreme pleasure to introduce the head table up here, folks. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We have a lot going on. We have a video for some of Whittier's patients, a live auction, and of course, the roast of Regina, Pisa. And I have to tell you, she is psyched up for this roast. I was talking to her earlier. She's from Somerville. She said, I'm ready. Bring on the roasters. So we're going to have a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. So it's my pleasure right now to introduce to the stage Miss LaToya Edwards, award-winning anchor for NECN. LaToya Edwards. Miss Frederica Williams, President and CEO of Whittier Street Health Center. Mr. Joe Nolan, Senior Vice President of Corporate Relations at Eversource Energy. Pastor Ray Hammond of Bethel AME Church. And our roasters, Mr. Bob Mahoney, President of Belmont Savings Bank. Mr. George Nebo, Managing Partner at Ernst & Young LLP Boston office. Mr. Frank Doyle, President and CEO of Connell Limited Partnership. And Andrew Suckoff, Chair of Goodwin Proctor's Boston office. Let him know. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the guest of honor. Wait a second. How about it for the band, ladies and gentlemen? Very cool. Very cool. This band is excellent. Please welcome, with great pleasure and fanfare,
baby, I got it.
I introduce to you our pioneer, our leader, innovator, change agent, the one and only Regina Pisa.
Return, honey, is to give me my promise when you get home. Hey, baby, when you get home. Now, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, take care T-C-T, show a little respect. Show a little respect.
We're going to have fun tonight. We're going to have fun.
Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Take care, T-C-P.
Woo! All righty. Folks at the head table, you can have your seats now that the guest of honor is here. And before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the podium Reverend Dr. Ray Hammond of the Bethel AME Church. Pastor Hammond is originally from Philadelphia. He graduated from Harvard College and Harvard Medical School and accepted the call to the ministry in 1976. Pastor is no stranger to the community advocacy or tonight's festivities. He's been a staunch supporter of the roast and of Whittier for years now, and he will lead us in tonight's invocation. Pastor Hammond.
Thank you. Good evening. You're allowed to talk back. Good evening.
Good evening.
Fantastic. Two things very quickly. If there's anybody at your table that you don't know, anybody sitting behind you that you're close to within a radius of a few feet or so, would you just introduce yourself to them so we can have a very warm, connected evening today? In a few minutes, we are going to roast and bake and fry and skewer our honoree. But in the meantime, I just want to pay her a very quick and heartfelt tribute, because even a cursory examination of her resume makes you wonder, when does this woman sleep? How does she manage to get so much professional, personal, community accomplishment into the same 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week that you and I have to deal with? I don't have an answer to that question, simply the observation that I am so glad that she has done what she's done and does what she does, and in the process she has really blessed and inspired us all. A few years ago, the Boston Magazine named her one of the people who run this city. Tonight I want to celebrate her as one of the people who serve this city and its citizens, and we are so much better for it. Would you join me in just saying thank you one more time to Regina Pisa? If you've been coming for a number of years, you know what you have to do next. But just in case you're new tonight, you have to hold the hand of the person next to you. I think we've got some Purell stations around here. If any of you have any concerns about germ transmission, but in the interest. All right, there we go. Let's just join together. Never fails. People find it just absolutely overwhelming, right? Let us pray. Since last we gathered, so much has happened, many things, both good and bad, but we choose tonight to give thanks. Thanks for the fact that we are here, blessed to be alive, joined in hands and hearts, praying on behalf of our region, our country, and our world. Thanks for the leadership of a CEO named Frederica Williams, who through word, but especially through deed, helps her neighbors and our neighbors who are most in need every day. Thanks for a board and staff who put feet on the gospel of health care for all, and who bring good news, great tidings, and marvelous service to the least, the lost, and the left out. And thanks for an extraordinary honoree, Regina Pisa, whose ministry of justice and law has touched thousands, shaped our city, and helped to shatter the glass ceiling of opportunity and possibility. For each donor of gifts, great and small, thank you. For the long legacy of Whittier Health Center, that place where poor and rich, young and old, women and men of every nation and race and tongue can find healing and hope, thank you. For our determination to reach the heartbroken and the homeless and the hungry in our city or around your world, thank you. For the food we receive tonight and the privilege of living in this country and your world, we are deeply grateful. And together we say thank you and amen.
Please welcome to the stage Frederica Williams.
Thank you, Jimmy. Good evening, and welcome to Whittier Street Health Center's roast for Regina Pisa. Tonight, we're honoring Regina as a pioneer, leader, innovator, and change agent. She's a dynamic leader who has made an incredible impact in the Boston community and around the world. Before we begin tonight's celebration, I want to thank all of you for being here with us. With your support, we're transforming the lives of our patients. In our daily work to create a culture of wellness and prevention, and in serving as advocates for our patients, I am reminded of a speech in 1966 made by the late Dr. Martin Luther King to the Medical Committee for Human Rights in Cook County, Illinois. In this speech, Dr. King said, "Of all forms of inequality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and inhumane. Medical advances and new technology have provided people in the United States with the potential for longer and healthier lives. However, persistent and well-documented disparities still exist between different racial and ethnic populations, and health equity remains elusive. The communities served by WIDIA face numerous barriers that limit their ability to maintain a long-term relationship with a healthcare provider. These barriers lead to prolonged disparities in health outcomes that make communities like ours more prone to debilitating and costly chronic diseases. Our patients have higher rates of mental illness, medical issues, and substance abuse. WIDIA is a trusted and compassionate safety net, deeply vested in the improvements in the health and well-being of our patients and community residents. We treat each patient with dignity and respect and provide equitable access to health care. The services we provide are predicated on breaking down obstacles to care and building lifelong partnerships with our patients around healthy living. Also, the differences in healthcare in our patient populations are closely linked with social, economic, and environmental disadvantages. The quality of housing and education, lack of access to healthy foods, and issues regarding safety negatively impact the health of our patients. WIDIA understands that to truly meet the health needs of the communities we serve, these social determinants of health must be addressed. We provide innovative care to 30,000 people from diverse backgrounds. We are also out in the community expanding our outreach and education and connecting vulnerable citizens to critical health care and support services. We listen to our patients, learn from them, and lead targeted improvements to deliver exceptional patient experiences. Your support tonight allows us to continue to serve as a beacon of hope for our young patients, many of whom confront numerous challenges that inhibit them from realizing their full potential. Your investment in care focused on disease prevention and public health not only saves lives, but yields a significant return on the investment. Prevention programs like ours can help address the exploding growth in healthcare treatment costs. On behalf of our patients, board, and my dedicated colleagues at WIDIA, I extend thanks to all of you for your support. Tonight, we're proud to honor Regina Pisa, Chairman Emeritus of Goodwin Procter LLP, a leading global 100 law firm with more than 900 attorneys serving clients from locations in the United States, Europe, and Asia. Regina is a pioneer, leader, innovator, and change agent. She has made history all her life, and tonight, she's making history in our life by being the first female roastee in my 14 years of hosting this event. I'm so excited. And she's ready. Thank you, Regina, for sitting in the hot seat. Regina has been a pioneer all her life. She was the first woman to lead an AmLaw 100 law firm in the United States and one of the youngest executives at age 42 to take the helm at the time of her appointment. To understand how pioneering this was, the Washington Post reported that in 2014, only 4% of the 200 top US law firms had female firm-wide managing partners. As the head of a major law firm, Regina has pioneered a path to equality for women at her firm and used her influence to ensure that at Goodwin Procter, women receive equal treatment to men. Thank you, Regina. Shortly after assuming her role in 1998, she led a strategic plan that raised Goodwin Procter's visibility to national prominence. Under her leadership, the firm has transformed dramatically from a regional law firm with gross revenues of $172 million to a leading national law firm with more than $770 million in revenues. She has received numerous honors and awards for being a strategic leader, visionary, and innovator. These awards include the recognition by the American Lawyer naming her one of the top 50 big law innovators of the past 50 years. Her ideas, policies, and practices have left an indelible mark on the legal industry. As a change agent, she used the power and visibility of her position to dismantle gender and cultural stereotypes and to facilitate mentorship, business development training, and work-life balance for women at Goodwin Procter and in the legal industry. She is also involved in numerous community organizations and important social causes and is widely recognized for the extraordinary time and effort she invests on behalf of others. It is this ultimate commitment as a nationally recognized pioneer, leader, innovator, and change agent, and her commitment to the communities we serve that impresses us most about Regina. Thank you, Regina, for your commitment to our mission and for serving as a champion for equitable access to health care. We at Whittier would also like to thank those who made this event possible. First, I thank our co-chairs, the great Joe Nolan and John Connors III for their unwavering leadership. And thank you, Roast Committee, for your dedication and commitment. Special appreciation goes to our roasters. I've heard them. I've seen some of the lines already, Regina, for providing us with what we are sure will be a highly entertaining evening. Bob Mahoney, Frank Doyle, George Nebel, and Andrew Suckoff. I would also like to thank our Toastmasters, Jimmy Tingle and Latoya Edwards of New England Cable News, as well as Pastor Ray Hammond, Vivian Mill Ensemble, Raffanelli Events, our volunteers and staff for their contributions to this evening's program. We also have a wonderful guest here, Regina's mother, Ms. Jo, who's here. Wave, she's, yeah. Who's here proudly, as she should, celebrating the accomplishments of our wonderful daughter. We are also privileged to recognize the many contributors who have chosen to support Whittier Street Health Center as we honor Regina. Our presenting sponsors, Goodwin Procter LLP and Regina. Our lead donors, Eversource Energy, Fidelity Charitable Fund, John Hancock, Tom and Donna May, and the Yorkie Foundation. Our benefactors, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts, Boathouse Group, Inc. And our patron sponsors, a long list of them, Bank of America, Belmont Savings Bank, and Kathy and Bob Mahoney, Boston Medical Center and the Boston Medical Center Health-Led Plan, Brigham and Women's Hospital and Partners Healthcare, Citizens Bank, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, Highland Street Foundation, the Joshua and Anita Beckenstein Foundation, Kelly Family Foundation, Larry and Atsuko Family Foundation, Liberty Mutual Insurance, MFS Investment Management, Mintz Levin, Related Bill, Suffolk Construction, and Tufts Health Plan. A sincere thank you to our contributors, table hosts, and friends whose names are on the screen and are listed in the program booklet. We are grateful to you for your belief in us. Thank you for taking a stand with us to provide high-quality care that emphasizes self-management, prevention, and intervention. With your investment in us, we'll be able to educate, empower, and engage more people in healthy behaviors and healthy lifestyle. Thank you, and have a good evening. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you one of our co-chairs for this evening, the Joe Nolan, Senior Vice President of Corporate Relations at Eversource Energy. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much, Frederica. What an extraordinary leader Frederica is, and how much joy I've had for probably 10 years being a part of the Whittier Street event each year. And I am touched. I'm touched every time I visit the Whittier Street Health Center, and I look at all of the folks that are receiving services, young and old, from all different walks of life. And you know, when I look back at where Whittier Street started and what they have today, it really warms my heart, and it's because of an extraordinary leader in Frederica. So I'd like to get a round of applause for Frederica, please. Yeah. I'd like to thank my co-chair, John Connors, who helped me out here, and everyone else on the committee. And all I want to tell Regina is that when folks in town find out how much money you can actually raise, I think you're going to have a busy 2016. This is a record year for the Whittier Street. So she will be Woman of the Year. She will be New England of the Year. She's going to be all things, all New England. And we're just thrilled about that. We're almost home at $600,000, and I was so happy when I walked in to see that our targets, Bob Mahoney and Frank Doyle and a few others, are a lot closer to us to be able to reach. I see my boss, Tom May, out there as well, John Connors. There's a lot of deep pockets out there, so we need to get home at $600,000 tonight. So nobody's going to be able to leave the room. The security has locked all the doors. No, but really, thank you for the generosity. It really is a pleasure to raise money for Whittier Street. I love Whittier Street. I love Frederica, and I love Regina. And it's going to be a wonderful night tonight. And Jimmy Tingle is the second funniest guy in Boston. I'm number one. And we are going to have fun tonight. I just want to tell folks that if you haven't had a chance to visit the Whittier Street, I would encourage you to go over there. It will warm your heart. No matter what day of the week it is, if you go over there, it is a wonderful place. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your generosity. And please continue to give. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the funniest man in Boston, Mr. Joe Nolan. Let that man know. Very good. All righty, we're going to have a ball tonight. Right now, it's my duty and pleasure to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Miss LaToya Edwards to the podium, a proud Dorchester native. Graduated magna cum laude from Emerson College. She's now an Emmy Award-winning news anchor on NECN. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the lovely and talented LaToya Edwards. We're going to have fun.
Hi, everyone. Oh, we have too many people in this room to have that. Hi. Hi, everyone. All right, listen, I worked at 4 in the morning. If I can be loud, you can be loud, okay? So my name is LaToya Edwards, and I am an anchor at NECM, but as Jimmy said, my proudest title really is to be a Dorchester resident and to grow up in Dorchester, Roxbury, live next to Whittier Street, and for my grandmother to receive care at Whittier Street. You know, since we saw each other last time, some things have changed. And I didn't think I was going to make it because of those things here tonight. First thing, you know, I switched my schedule. I used to work nights. Now I start work at 4 in the morning. I anchor 5 hours of news. I have to get to work at 3. I was like, I don't know if I can do an evening event. And then I called Frederica, and then I also broke some news. I was like, well, I'm also 4 months pregnant. And so, and so I said, well, you know, Frederica, I called up to say, you know, I couldn't do it. But you see, I'm standing here right now. The conversation sort of switched a little bit. She said, you know, I know exactly what you mean. Because when I was leading Whittier, I was also pregnant, and I also carried the city on my back. And I felt ashamed, you know, calling her. And she's right. She really is one of the queens of the city of Boston, and I am so honored to be your friend, and thank you for inviting me to this event here this evening. Let's give Frederica another round of applause because she deserves it. And also, I want to be here for 2 reasons. We have some important work to do tonight. First and foremost, we have to honor Ms. Regina Pisa. She's an amazing leader who still greets you humbly. You're such a star, and you still greet me with the hug, like you're happy to meet me. No, I'm happy to meet you. You're a big deal. But I want to warn you, it's not going to be comfortable where you're sitting, okay? Okay, you just provide some blockage a little bit, you know. And your mom's here. Mom, I'm sorry. You know, her friends do love her, but they were in charge of saying some things about her. It'll be nice. The real important reason why we're here as well is we have to make sure that Whittier continues for a long time to come. Whittier serves the residents of Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, and the surrounding neighborhoods where we often hear about poverty, violence, and ill health. I talk about it on NECN a lot. They offer over 40 innovative programs and services to address the diverse and multifaceted health and social issues that come from receiving a low or fixed income, being unemployed, experiencing violence, you can imagine how that impacts you, and living in poor or unstable housing. Well, tonight, it's important for you to hear directly from the patients who volunteer to share parts of their personal stories and their experiences at Whittier. We hope you'll learn a bit more about why and how Whittier is fighting for health equity in our community. Take a look.
Our health is linked to the conditions in which we are born and grow, where we work and live. These conditions, such as the quality of housing, access to healthy food, and the safety of our communities, are known as the social determinants of our health, those social barriers that prevent us from being healthy. What if your life expectancy was determined by your zip code? Well, here in the greater Boston area, there's a shocking 33-year life expectancy gap between residents in Roxbury and those in Boston's Back Bay. These inequities and avoidable differences in health and social status are at the heart of our mission at Whittier Street Health Center. Our comprehensive approach to integrated care extends beyond medical services to include behavior and specialty care, wellness programs, educational workshops, and more, allowing us to focus on the patient's overall well-being. Approximately 80% of our patients present with psychosocial issues, which impact their health. The integration of behavioral health, stress reduction, and wellness support into medical visits is critical to ensuring our patients are healthy and stay healthy.
When I came to where I was very depressed. I was over 275 pounds. I was not taking care of myself. Actually, I came to it just to say, okay, I need a dentist. That's all I wanted, and was to leave. But once I walked in, I just said, okay, you know what? I am gonna just see a doctor. I am gonna just see the dentist. I'm gonna see the eye doctor. I'm gonna see everything in general.
Toda mi vida le tuve miedo al dentista. Esa fue la causa principal por la que estaba perdiendo mis dientes. Desde el momento, desde el primer día que yo vine a Whittier, me di cuenta que en la recepción me trataron con amabilidad, con profesionalismo. Por primera vez me sentí cómoda y sin miedo del dentista.
After I got out of prison, I was torn down. I wasn't in a very good state of mind. I had a problem with being around crowds of too many people. I get anxiety attack, I have PTSD. I have a lot of mental health issues that I come over here and I feel safe. I feel comfortable. I'm trying to become uninstitutionalized, and it's a difference. It's a difference, and it's been a long stride, but I'm making it.
With the increase of HIV and hepatitis C in minority communities, we have integrated infectious disease programs into primary care. These screenings are now part of our routine medical visits, and as a result, we have seen increases in health engagement and improvements in health.
22 years ago, I received a phone call from my then physician secretary, called and told me, I'm sorry, but you're HIV positive. She hung up. I literally have no recollection of the remainder of that day. Then I had no pre-counseling, no post-counseling. No one suggested that I should talk to someone. It was just this phone call, and now you're on your own. I found Whittier Street from my medical case manager to my first triage. You know, I love this place. If it wasn't for the care and the support that personally I've received here, I don't know where I'd be right now.
In addition to addressing racial and ethnic disparities in care, we also focus on the gaps in health for at-risk populations. For example, we have focused on the health of men because of the gaps in life expectancy.
For about a year and a half, I have been coming to the men's group. We have information about diabetes, we have information about heart, cancer, everything. So it's part of not only talking about your past, your present, but then at the same time, talking about how you can better your life for tomorrow. We are really grateful to Whittier for having the men's group. I have not missed one Friday.
Our youth department supports our youth in their academic success because of the high school dropout rates, and in their health because of obesity, mental health, and trauma experienced by our youth.
Whittier creates a program Race Around Roxbury, and you get to come every Tuesday and Friday. And on Tuesday, you do a nutrition program, and on Friday, you do a workout.
It's important for young people to exercise and interact with others instead of just staying home all the time. I come here for my pediatric, I come here for my doctor, and I come for my nutrition and for personal training.
People here are very friendly and they're always willing to help. What I like most about my experience here is that I get to interact with new people and form friendships.
This is the best way to get your life on track.
Recently, we turned our focus to the minority LGBT community because we've seen huge gaps in the health of this population. And we've opened a culturally competent clinic to address these health disparities.
This has really been a new journey for Whittier Street. It's been a long time coming, but over the past year, we've really taken an initiative to offer better programming that specifically targets our LGBTQ patients.
Good morning. This is Helen, Health Ambassador at Whittier Street Health Center.
But we don't wait for our patients to come to us. We're out in the community every day, connecting our neighbors to resources, insurance coverage, providing preventative screenings and education. For us at Whittier Street Health Center, it's not just about treating our patients, it's about educating and empowering them to be proactive in their own health, helping them to retain the knowledge that they've gained and to share it within the community.
When you walk through the front door of Whittier, there's a synergy and there's an exuding of change your lifestyle, think differently, step out of the box, learn how to eat nutritionally, go to the fitness center, get your energy going, get your metabolism going. I mean, to me, It's a lifestyle. Just like you, who have overcome.
To sustain good health also takes action. Studies have shown that 50% of what keeps us healthy is lifestyle. And with the increase of obesity, for example, and the impact of obesity on other health conditions, we launched our new Wellness Institute, which includes a state-of-the-art fitness club and community garden. These are just a few of the examples of lifestyle-changing programs here at Whittier Street Health Center.
I'm a believer in self-improvement. So when they asked me to come, I come. I went to cardiology, Zumba. That Zumba class is crazy. It's just like you're at a party.
Our multicultural and multilingual staff are not only dedicated to improving health outcomes, but also to creating a welcoming and culturally appropriate environment, one in which our patients feel at home. Not only do our patients receive quality, comprehensive care, they are also treated with compassion.
It's not like you're just a patient or you just, another number. You are like a family here. And the service, it's terrific, And that is not only the doctors, it's everyone, from the security right up to the president, that's Mrs. Williams. It's beautiful.
And that's why I come to Whittier.
I'm really grateful to Whittier for all what they have done for me. They literally gave me back my smile. I'm able to smile.
Thank you. Of course, they're all like friends and family in here. So I gotta say thank you to all of them, because they made me feel welcome. They don't make you feel out of place. They greet you with a smile and a handshake.
I know a lot of you from different events that we go to and we see each other, and we see a lot of videos, but that was the most beautiful video that I've ever seen at any program. Thank you so much for sharing. That is the experience of Whittier. One stat really jumped out, and I'm sure I saw the faces as soon as it was spoken on that video. It said, there was a 33-year life expectancy gap between Whittier's surrounding neighborhoods and Boston's Back Bay. So, if my baby is born in the neighborhood where I grew up, he's gonna live 33 years less? Because of what? Does that make sense? And so we're here tonight to change that. If you've been to Whittier, you know that the beautiful new building is a mere 2 miles from the Back Bay neighborhood. We can all agree that we can and must do better. Minority or low-income communities are disproportionately threatened and affected by societal and environmental factors that cause their health, both mental, physical, to suffer. Studies have proven that these disadvantages begin as early as in the mother's womb. Exposure to chronic stress from racial and ethnic inequality, household poverty, or lack of supportive prevention, protection, and care systems, they undermine human development and dramatically affect the immune system. Whittier understands that in order to provide compassionate, culturally sensitive, and effective care, they must offer comprehensive programs that address the societal determinants of health, which include the physical, the mental, emotional, psychosocial patient experiences. It is for this reason that Whittier provides programs that encompass health care, public health, and social services. Many of us here in this room have reliable transportation or reliable health insurance, and maybe we do not live with a chronic illness and we have access to exercise. But what would your experience be like if these factors were different? Really, think about that. If you did not have health insurance, if you had limited access to healthy foods, or if after dark, you did not feel safe walking, let alone exercising in your own neighborhood. Whittier is being recognized locally, regionally, and nationally for asking these difficult questions and for fighting to seek solutions to these issues while addressing immediate patient needs. Whittier emphasizes wellness, prevention, and education so that people are empowered to make changes to lead healthy lives. However, they need your support right here, right now, to continue to further their mission of providing high quality, reliable, and accessible primary health care and supportive services to diverse populations. And tonight, I'm asking you that we all make a gift to Whittier. Big or small, your donation will go to programs and services that are truly changing lives. You saw that gentleman. It was interesting that he said, I'm trying to be de-institutionalized. And I felt the pride. I felt the connection. I saw the tears in your eyes when he spoke. Together, we can eliminate health disparities. So please consider making a gift tonight. You will find a pledge card on your table. We have volunteers who are all around this room, and they're ready to help you. They will collect those cards. Thank you.
We can go. There's too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Hey, Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Yeah, yeah. Picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? Tell me what's going on. What's going on? Father, everybody's been so wrong. Oh God, who are they to judge us? Simply 'cause our hair is long. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? Tell me what's going on. What's going on?
Very nice. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, how about it for that band? Are they beautiful or what? That was nice. Very, very nice. Very nice. And how about it for our volunteers? roaming through the hall tonight? Oh, you getting a lot of donations? Are the people being generous? All righty, excellent, excellent, excellent. You can see all the positive things that are happening in this country, huh, Frederica? And in the city. So nice, people coming together like this. You know, I have to tell you something, folks. One of the toughest things, you talk about stress, LaToya, about the tough neighborhoods and stuff, and how stress can really influence your whole outlook on things. One of the best things about this winter so far was what, ladies and gentlemen? No snow. One of the worst things about last winter, ladies and gentlemen, was what? That's right, the snow. Not only the snow, we got past the snow, but the stress that the snow brought on. Even me, Frederica, I was so stressed out, I was snapping on people. I'm not kidding. Shh. I saw a woman pulling into my parking space last week. I said, "Excuse me, miss, excuse me, that's my space." I said, "Excuse me, miss, it took me 3 hours to shovel it out, that's my space." I don't care if we're married, that's my space. That is my space. Thank you. Oh, we got a little drum roll. Bang, little rim shot. Thank you. All righty, right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start the live auction. We're going to raise some spirits, some funds, and awareness for the great Whittier Street Health Center. Ladies and gentlemen, are you feeling generous? Do you got the spirit in you? I said, do you got the spirit in you? Brothers and sisters, give me an amen. Give me an amen. Give me a rim shot. A rim shot. Thank you. All righty. LaToya is going to help me. We're going to co-auctioneers, hey, ladies and gentlemen. We are the co-auctioneers, and we're going to raise some money. So let's get to it.
All right. Now, all bids start at $3,500. Item number one. These are great prizes, though, really. Item number one.
1, 2, 3, 4. Bring this baby up. I'm going to have to roam through the audience. I might have to twist a few arms, bring up my mic.
Uh-oh.
I might have to go out to the people.
Uh-oh, Jimmy. Okay, slow down, baby. Here we go. Item number one.
Item number one.
My God. Okay. Private meeting with City Councilor Michelle Wu.
Wait a second. When you say it, LaToya, I'll repeat it. Item number one. First thing.
Private meeting.
Private meeting.
With City Councilor.
With City Councilor.
Michelle Wu.
Michelle Wu.
Yes.
Maybe fix a parking ticket.
Also, travel voucher worth $2,400.
Travel voucher for $2,400.
For 5-night vacation.
For a vacation.
Of up to 6 guests to Los Establos Boutique Inn in Panama.
To Panama. And that's a very hot country right now. There's lots of opportunity there. You could actually make money on this trip.
All right, that's the prize.
That's the prize. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, you heard what it is. $3,500. We're starting at $3,500. Do I hear $3,500? $3,500. Do we hear $3,500? $3,500. Do we hear $3,500? $3,500, ladies and gentlemen. $3,500. Don't make me go out there. $3,500 right over there, sir. Thank you very much. Do we hear 4,000? We have 35, we're looking for 4. 35, we're looking for 4. 35, we're looking for 4. 35, we're looking for $4,000. We have 3,500, we're looking for 34,000. We're looking for 35. What do we have, LaToya? We have 35.
We have $3,500.
Okay, we have 35, we're looking for 35.50. Forget 4,000. We're at 35, we're looking for 36. Do we got 3,600? 36, we got 35, we're looking for 36. 35, we're looking for 36. 35, let me just say this, folks. If you don't bid, we're not bringing out the entree.
Oh!
Thank you, brother. We had 35, we're looking for 3,600. 35, we're looking for 3,600. 35, we're looking for 3,600. $3,500 going once. $3,500 going twice. What's your name, sir? John.
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 John Connors.
Out of the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. John, out of the Bible, sold to John for $3,500. Oh, yes. What's the next one?
All right, item number 2.
Thank you, Brother John.
Boston Night on the Town, it's called. So 4 tickets to the Boston Opera House.
4 tickets to the Boston Opera House.
For the 2016 season show of choice.
Of season show of choice.
4 tickets to the Red Sox opening day versus the Baltimore Orioles. That is April 11th.
Opening day, Monday, ladies and gentlemen, April 11th. Are you with me?
I'm with you. I feel it. All right. 1 night stay at the Fairmont Copley Plaza Hotel.
A one-night stand at the Fairmont Copley Hotel. Stay. A one-night stay. A one-night stay at the Fairmont Copley Hotel.
Not stand, stay.
Not stand, stay. Brother John, out of the Bible, I said stay, one-night stay. Reverend, one-night stay.
Gift card to Salvatore's restaurant.
And a trip to Salvatore's restaurant.
Baseball signed by Dustin Pedroia.
A baseball signed by, that's worth $3,500 right there.
And a travel voucher worth $2,400 for a 7-night vacation at the Veranda Resort and Spa in Antigua.
All righty, Antigua. All of this, ladies and gentlemen, we start the bidding at $3,500. Do we hear $3,500? $3,500, all of these items, $3,500. $3,500. There you are, my brother. What is your name, sir? Tom. John and Tom. 2 of the apostles sitting right next to each other.
No.
Thank you, Brother Tom. Tom, $3,500. Do we hear $3,750? We got 35, we're looking for $3,750. Look at 5, we're looking at $3,750. We got 35, we're looking for $3,750. 35, look at $3,750. LaToya, look at all the things that they can win.
Yes, let me rattle them off again. 4 tickets to the Boston Opera House for the 2016 season show of your choice. 4 tickets to the Red Sox opening
4 tickets
day.
to the Red Sox game.
1 night stay at the one night stay
at
the Fairmont Copley Plaza Hotel. Gift card to Salvatore's restaurant. Baseball signed by Dustin Pedroia, and a travel voucher for a 7-night vacation up to 4 guests at the Veranda Resort and Spa in Antigua.
We're talking about $3,750, ladies and gentlemen. This could be yours. $3,750. We're up 35 from Brother Tom. One of the Bible, one of the men from the Old Testament. Brother Tom, thank you. We're looking for $3,750. We have 35, we're looking for $3,750. 35, we're looking for $3,750. $3,750 for Brother Tom. Clearly a man of the cloth. Sir, I know you have money.
I'm borrowing it from him.
I know you got money. I know you got money, Mr. Doyle. Sir, I know you got money. You got money. He says he's a lawyer. He has no money. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. We're at $3,750. Tom is bidding against himself. Either that or he's starving and wants to eat. Okay, he wants a ticket. All righty. $3,750 going once. $3,750 going twice. Sold to Brother Tom for $3,750. Excellent. All right. Very nice. Very nice. All right, LaToya, what do we got next?
Item number 3, North Conway Getaway. 1 week stay at 4-bedroom luxury townhouse in North Conway.
How many people here have ever been to New Hampshire? This is your chance to go to New Hampshire.
We got more, though. We got an international trip as well.
Okay, and an international trip, possibly to another country.
To Antigua.
To Antigua.
A travel voucher worth up to $2,800 for a 7-night vacation for up to 4 guests at the St. James Club and Villas in Antigua.
Excellent. So listen what you get. A trip to New Hampshire. A travel voucher worth $2,800 for 7-night vacation up to 4 guests to St. James Clubs and Villas in Antigua. And a 1-week stay at a 4-bedroom luxury townhouse in North Conway, New Hampshire, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about 93 North. Okay? 250 miles up 93 North. Then to Antigua. Start the bidding, $3,500. $3,500, do we have $3,500? $3,500, do we have $3,500? I'm talking about going up 93 North.
He's coming.
I know you have money, sir. What company are you with? Tufts. You don't have any money. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Brother John, you are very generous. We might have to come back to you. Miss, I know you got money. I know you got money. This coat is worth $3,500 right there. Do we have $3,500, ladies and gentlemen? We're not getting the entree until we raise the money. We're not getting the entree until we raise the money. $3,500. $3,500, ladies and gentlemen. $3,500. $3,500 right over here.
He just kissed her head.
Clearly, one of God's children. What is your name, miss? Colleen. Out of the Bible. Thank you, Colleen. 35, the Irish Bible. Thank you very much. And what is your name? I'm Jennifer. How about $3,750 for you? $3,500 for Colleen. Do we hear $3,750? We have 35, we're looking for $3,750. We have 35, we're looking for $3,750. We'll have 35, we're looking for $3,750. Do we have $3,750, ladies and gentlemen? Do we have $3,750? Do we have $3,750? I know you got money.
Uh-oh.
I'll give you give me $3,750, I'll give you this back. It's everything he owns is in here. You think the Panama Papers were salacious? $3,750, you don't get the phone back. All right, $3,500 going once. $3,500 going twice. Sold to Colleen from the Irish Bible for $3,500. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. We're gonna make some money. We're gonna make some money. We're gonna make some money. I got the spirit of you. LaToya.
I can't see you, Jimmy. Where are you?
I'm over here.
Oh my goodness.
I happen to be standing next to the richest man in the room.
All right.
What is your name, sir?
Jack.
Jack.
You don't even know his name. Okay.
What's the next one, LaToya?
All right, this is for all the Boston sports fans here.
Boston sports fans, listen up.
It's huge. Okay, we got lots going on. First up, Boston Red Sox, 2 upper box seat tickets next to State Street Pavilion. Next, Boston Red Sox versus New York Yankees, 2 tickets between dugout and home base.
Wow.
Next, New England Patriots, 3 prime seat tickets to preseason game. Next up, signed photograph of Julian Edelman. Finally, a travel voucher worth $3,000 for a 7-night vacation for up to 4 guests at the Palm Island Resort in the Grenadines. Jimmy, take it away.
Take it away. Let's start. You heard what they said. You heard what LaToya said. Boston Red Sox, 2 upper box tickets. If they start winning by more than 7 runs in the 8th inning, you get 1 at bat. Boston Red Sox versus the Yankees. New England Patriots. If they are winning by more than 30 points in the 4th quarter, you get to return a touchdown. I'm sorry, return a kickoff. A signed autograph photo of Julian Edelman. What do you think, ladies?
I like that.
Julian Edelman,
yes,
signed
please.
autograph picture. All right, and what else we got here? Travel voucher worth $3,000 for a 7-night vacation up to 4 guests to the Palm Island Resort in the Grenadines. And let's be honest, how many people here know where the Grenadines are? Okay, the Grenadines are between the Vineyard and Nantucket. They're right off the coast of Falmouth. You see the beautiful grenadines right there. $3,000 worth, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start it at $3,500. Do we have $3,500 for this beautiful package? $3,500 for this beautiful package. $3,500 for this beautiful package. All these sports items, all these tickets, all these games. $3,500. I don't see one bid. There's no food, I'm sorry. We're not eating till we get a bid. $3,500, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have $3,500?
Over here, in the corner.
$3,500. We're right over here. Thank you very much, miss. Thank you very much. $3,500. $3,500. Do we have $3,500 going once? Anybody else? $3,600. We have 35, we're looking for 36. 35, we're looking for 36. 35, we're looking for 36. We have $3,500 going once. $3,500 going twice. Huh?
What's your name?
Deborah. Deborah. Out of the Bible. Deborah, a latecomer to the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. Clearly, she was in the very New Testament.
Yes.
Thank you, Sister Deborah. $3,500 going once. $3,500 going twice. Sold to Sister Deborah for $3,500. All right. All righty. Billy Joel at Fenway Park. How many people here like Billy Joel?
Woo!
How many people like Fenway Park? Woo! How many people have ever been with Billy Joel in Fenway Park? This is your opportunity. What do we got there, LaToya?
This is our final item. Item
final
number 5.
item.
So 4 tickets to the sold out Billy Joel at Fenway Park, the field seats. That's August 18th, plus limo service, dinner at Town, Stone and Spirits, and also you'll get a beautiful trip, a travel voucher worth $2,100 for a 7-night vacation for up to 4 guests at the St. James Club, Morgan Bay in St. Lucia.
Wow, that is a good deal. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 tickets to Billy Joel, a limo service, dinner at Town, Stone and Spirits, travel voucher, $2,100, 7-night vacation, 4 guests, St. James Club, Morgan Bay, St. Lucia. Start the bidding at $3,500. Do I hear $3,500 for this package? $3,500, ladies and gentlemen. $3,500 right over here. Look at this man. Look at this man, one of God's children. What is your name, sir? Robert from Belmont Savings Bank, ladies and gentlemen. Do you believe this man is going to go into the bank and get $3,500 for this gift? That's how much he cares, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. If you embezzle and it's for a good cause, it doesn't count. If you embezzle in the name of the Whittier Street Health Center, it's okay. That's right. We have a lawyer with us. We have a whole law firm with us. Ladies and gentlemen, $3,500, we're looking for $3,750. 35, we're looking for $3,750. 35, we're looking for $3,750. 35, we're looking for $3,750. $3,500 going once. $3,500 going twice. Sold to one of God's children from Belmont, Massachusetts. Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much. And that ends our auction, ladies and gentlemen, I believe.
Yes, it does.
Right? Ladies and gentlemen, how about it for the lovely and talented LaToya Edwards, everybody? The co-auctioneer. Let's get in here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Jimmy is the best, everyone. Let's give it up for Jimmy for shaking down folks this evening.
Okay, thank you. Since 4 people pledged, those 4 can eat. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your generosity, for being here tonight, for your extreme generosity, your kindness, your love, your support of the Whittier Street Health Center. Let's eat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's eat. Well, I have to tell you, Frederica, you know, she's been there 14 years now. 14 years. Shh. And it's very important to recognize that sometimes nothing happens overnight. You know, nothing happens overnight. Sometimes progress, human progress, political progress, it takes time. It takes time. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King had a beautiful quote. The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Nice, huh? The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And sometimes political progress or human progress is a couple steps forward and a couple steps backwards. That's just the way it is, right? Can I get up here? Can I get up here with my mic? Right? 1, 2. Can you hear me? Sometimes progress is a few steps forward. Could you turn this up? Up. A few steps forward and a couple steps backwards. That's just the way it goes. For example, ladies and gentlemen, just look at this year. Look at this year, the Supreme Court rulings this year, and the progress we've made as a society. In every sector of this society, the Supreme Court ruled same-sex marriage legal and constitutional in every state in this country. Huge step forward, ladies and gentlemen. Huge step forward. The Affordable Care Act, legal and constitutional in every state in this country. Huge step forward, ladies and gentlemen. Huge step forward. The Confederate flag coming down over southern capitals all over this country. Huge step forward, ladies and gentlemen. Huge step forward. Donald Trump running for president. A few steps backwards. Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen. I saw him in front of his supporters. He's in a room full of people and he says, listen, if you elect me as your president, your lives will improve dramatically. And I have to say, as a comedian, that's definitely true. He was asked after the last debate, why is your company audited every year? Why has your company been audited every year for the last 12 years? And his answer was, well, I'm not positive. Maybe it's my strong Christian faith. I don't think so. I don't know where it says in the Bible. And then the Lord said, build a wall across the southern border. Keep out the Catholics and get the Mexican government to pay for it. The wall, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not an expert on immigration, okay? But it seems to me that if you built a wall across the southern border, human traffickers, drug cartels, desperate people will go around the wall. Then you got to build a wall up the East Coast. Then you got to build a wall up the West Coast. Then you got to build a wall. Can they see me up there? Then you got to build a wall across the northern border. Then you got to build a wall around the Gulf of Mexico. Then you got to build a wall between Canada and Alaska. Then you got to build a wall around all the islands, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, Manhattan. You need 20,000 miles of walls, ladies and gentlemen. That's 103 million feet. And then you have to patrol these walls. 103 million feet, you got to patrol it. And you can't just have a Border Patrol agent here and then a half mile away, another Border Patrol agent. The human traffickers are quick. They'll go right up the middle. So you're going to need people every 3 feet, arm in arm, or at least holding hands. Every 3 feet, 103 million feet divided by 3, you're going to need 31 million people patrolling this wall. And here's the tough part. Are you ready for this? You can't use undocumented workers. They all have to be American citizens. 31 million American citizens, ladies and gentlemen, arm in arm, guarding the border. Who's going to do the work in the country? We're going to have to import another 31 million people to do the work while the 31 million Americans are guarding the border. But the reality is, my friends, is that most people who have come to this country illegally and are undocumented did not come across the southern border. They did not swim the Rio Grande. They overstayed work visas, student visas, and tourist visas, and they came into the country on planes. And somebody has to tell presidential candidate Trump a plane can go over a wall. So what Trump really needs to do is build a dome over the United States and get U.S. Airways to pay for it. But sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, progress is a few steps forward and a couple of steps backwards. For example, now I know Regina and many of the people here are in the law profession. Shh. And we can see how the law profession and how the law has changed just in the last couple of years. For example, 4 states have legalized marijuana now. And the data is coming in. And there's good news and there's bad news. The good news, a lot less people in jail for using marijuana. Excellent. The bad news, a lot more people lost in the woods. Few steps forward, couple steps backwards. The U.S. Treasury wants to put a woman on the $10 bill. Excellent. The bad news, because of pay inequality, the bill will only be worth $7.50. Few steps forward, couple steps backwards. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great, great show for you tonight, and it's my pleasure to introduce our first roastee. First of all, our first roaster and our lone roastee, right? They're the roasters, right? Yeah. And she's the roastee. Okay. Ladies and did I say play music? Oh, right. Yes, I did. Sorry. My bad. Take me back. Where's my glasses? I can't read this. Progress, ladies and gentlemen. 2 steps forward, a couple steps backwards. How many verses are there to this song? Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to a Whittier healthcare champion in his own right, and the 2007 roastee himself, our friend and our favorite Belmont Savings Bank president. He donated $3,500 today to go see Billy Joel for the second time. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our roaster, Mr. Bob Mahoney.
My girl. Oh, I love that. I'd much rather sing My Girl than do this roast, to be honest, but I'm going to do this. You're absolutely right. I actually was a roastee in 2007. So, Regina, I feel your pain. And it was a long time ago, and in the last couple of months, it's finally starting to wear off. I mean, I'm getting back to normal again, and it's maybe okay. I've known Regina for 25 years, and mostly through acquisitions. I was at Citizens Bank. We bought 30 banks over the course of 15 years, and Regina was there for every one of those. And for reasons that I won't bore you with, but we had to close every single deal before the London stock market opened. So we ended up negotiating deals at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And Regina is nice, Regina is smart, but Regina is tough. And if she hadn't played this trick of having her mother come, I could tell you just how tough she is. And I've learned phrases from Regina that I've never knew before that could be said to people. But one of her favorites that I can tell in front of her mother is one of Regina's favorite trick was about 2 o'clock in the morning when the other side was about to say, you know, we need one more thing out of this deal. The minute he or she said we need one more thing, Regina would stop him right in mid-sentence and say, if you finish that sentence, my client is leaving now. No one ever finished that sentence. It was unbelievable. Very strong. And while she's sitting there with the Mona Lisa look at 2 o'clock in the morning, everybody else looks like they're bedraggled, and she's just thinking, and the head is spinning, and we won over and over and over. So we thank you for that. So we heard some of Regina's amazing accomplishments. First woman to lead a top 100 law firm, the executive to lead a top 100 law firm, top 50 big law innovators. But I know the most important honor that Regina has created at Goodwin is being named the best law firm for women 4 years in a row. So how do you do that? I mean, how do you do that? That's unbelievable. Well, I have a little inside information. This is the management team. Oops, we're going backwards here. This is the management team at Goodwin that Regina has put in place. And some of the old boys take exception to apparent preferences that Regina has for women, but she finds the best and the brightest and takes good care of them. And so there's the team at Goodwin. So Regina, it's a great place for women, and her accomplishments, go far and wide, but it started with her education. As you now know, she went to Harvard, but to be fair, she really had an inside track because she graduated from Somerville High, which everybody knows is a big feeder school for Harvard. I mean, almost everybody out of Somerville High gets into Harvard. So that's like breaking sticks. So that's not such a big accomplishment. But speaking of Somerville, for many years, Regina and her mom stayed true to their roots, living in Somerville. Just amazing. A woman named Lawyer of the Year, one of the most 50 most powerful women in Boston, living in a low-key, blue-collar town like Somerville, shoulder to shoulder with the neighbors that she grew up with. And so Regina, low-key, understood, regular person. And here's a shot of her house in Somerville. It's a modest 15-room estate. It sort of blends in. It was one of the finalists for Downton Abbey, as a matter of fact. She's a real person, sort of. So the education went from Harvard to Somerville to Harvard. But she then went on to Oxford. And believe it or not, the Somerville high school degree didn't have quite as much power for getting into Oxford. In fact, Harvard didn't help very much because the Harvard degrees were a dime a dozen. So once again, she dug deep in her roots, and instead of actually enrolling in regular school at Oxford, they have a small culinary school that she became a member of. And so she worked in the Oxford dining halls and plied her trade as a great chef, and actually ended up getting her master's, master chef that is, with a minor in pasta. And so that all brings us to this day. So Regina is now chairman emeritus at Goodwin Procter, which I think she means like she goes into work just on payday, because you don't have to go to work the rest of the time. So I think it's about time she gets back in the game. And I think you would agree that without her working in this town full time, it would not be a good thing. So I think it's time for her to get off the bench, and I think if asked, she would. In fact, I saw her the other day with Donald Trump at the Taj last Friday, and I was just close enough to overhear the conversation, and then Donald came right out and asked her, no surprise, actually a really good idea. Get back in your hole, Judge Garland. We're going to get a Pisa for a Scalia if Donald has his way. That's the only good thing I can say about that man tonight. Anyway, Regina, thank you for everything you've done in this town. Thank you for what you've done, in particular for women in this town, women executives in this town. You're a great leader, a great role model, and a great friend. Thank you.
How about it, folks, for Mr. Bob Mahoney? Let that man know. Beautiful. Beautiful. Our next, and that's funny you went to Harvard. That's wonderful. I don't want to brag. What's so funny about that? I went back, I got a master's degree, okay? Got a master's degree from the Kennedy School. I don't want to brag, but let me just say this. The great thing about going back to school in your 50s, you get the student ID and the senior discount. Excellent. All righty. The roast is on, folks. Let's keep the fire hot. Band, let's hear some Brick House and welcome the one and only George Nebo, managing partner at Ernst & Young Boston office. Go get him, Brother George.
Ow, she's a brick house. She's amount of money to make it all hang out. She's a brick house.
You got it, baby, you got it.
fact. That's a fact. I think you know the
We're the
fact.
only two boogieing.
All right, you saw my spirits there. God, thanks, Jimmy, so much. God, was that embarrassing. But thank you, Regina. And thank you all very much for giving me the opportunity to share some thoughts on our mutual friend, Regina. Regina, as Bob just shared, an incredible success story, coming from Somerville to Harvard, a little stopover in Oxford, great picture there, and then obviously a wrap up in Georgetown. You talk about an incredible academic and educational. Poor Frank Doyle and I are both Boston College High School graduates before Doug Flutie threw the pass in '83. So matching up against this, Regina, is very, very tough. So then Lead Goodwin, one incredible firm through its spectacular growth as one of the nation's leading law firms. It's really an American success story, what you have achieved. But when you step back after you meet Regina, who would ever question her passion and drive for success? Let's start back at the beginning. As Bob said, it started in Somerville, little home of the old Powder House during the Revolutionary War, on the way to Paul Revere's ride. And there's a lot of history and leaders that came from Somerville. And let's be clear, Regina, we know who's not from Somerville, right? Jimmy Tingle. We found out tonight, Cambridge. But to lead a law firm takes a very unique set of abilities. The ability to negotiate, to lead by example, listen, but lead, motivate. And I really just want to put to rest one thing that Bob didn't cover, but the skills that she got those from, put the rumor away. She didn't learn them from Whitey Bulger and the Weddell Hill Gang in Somerville. Just want to make sure you knew that. But law firms are also known to have some partners with some egos, right? And I assume that's not the case at Goodwin, right? Andy, no egos. But you get people to follow behind you with your charm, your wit, and as we all know, how much more smarter you are than us. You know, in your current role as chairman emeritus, the good news is that you really don't have to be concerned about the billable hours being lost tonight by all the Goodwin attorneys here at the event. But chairman emeritus does have a ring to it, Regina. Once in charge, always in charge? Or did the chairman CEO screw up and I'm back in town? So I do believe that these are the traits, and this is the There you go, Jimmy. Thank you. These are the appropriate guard for a leader. I'm not going to put on your head because you'd hit me if I did. But just a baton and leadership for the person in charge. So now, thank you, Regina. And you know she's a great salesperson, right? Because that's why we're all here tonight, all of our friends, right? You made the call and we all reached out, so that. And your partners know that you can be very compelling. And I think tonight, probably in the audience, are some legacy Testa partners. They shared with me stories about being in meetings with you on Sunday, trying to close the deal, and you wouldn't let them go home until they said they'd sign on with Goodwin. That is persuasive power and strength, so congratulations. On a personal level, I had the great fortune of taking over for Regina with Mass Mentoring, and I think we've got some of our team out there and board members, yep. And Regina did a great job leading through the charge. You're always organized. You always instinctively know the right path. Besides, the food at Goodwin is about 10 times better than the food that we're giving at EY, and that's already been brought to my attention by the board. So we may be coming back your way, Regina. Regina, thanks for being my friend, a friend to all of us, your commitments and community to Simmons, obviously Whittier, Mass Mentoring, and all the things that Bob alluded to that you've given back have just been fantastic. Now, we also know you love jewelry, right? You've got some spectacular jewels on, so please wear this last gift. It's not that one, Jimmy. That wouldn't have been good. Let's see. This chain that says boss in great spirit, okay? Thank you, Regina, for being my friend. All right, Jimmy, thank you.
Brother George. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother George Neville, let him know. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. You got gifts and everything, Regina. Very nice. Jewelry, the whole thing. All righty. Let me see these babies here. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Let's keep the, where are we? Okay. Okay. You know, a lot of people look at me and they say, Jim, why comedy? I got to tell you, I've been doing this a long time. When I first started, I didn't work nice places like this. You know, I'm not telling you. When I first started, I used to do street performing. You might remember this, Regina. I used to go up in Harvard Square. I did street performing up in Harvard Square. And I admit, there is a fine line between street performing and simply being drunk in public. All right, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome the CEO of Carnal Limited Partnership Band. You know what to play. Give it up for the one, the only, Mr. Frank Doyle. Go get him, brother.
Lovely lady, sweet lady, just a fine lady.
Great job, Bob.
So I just need a minute to recover. George and I go back a long, long time, and the last time I saw him dance was the junior prom at Boston College. It took me about 20 years to get over that, and I'm just feeling a little lightheaded right now, so I apologize that. So, you know, tonight, we all know, and the change agent, innovator, all that kind of stuff. It's all great. Bob did a fabulous job. George did a fabulous job. We're going to hear some more tonight. So we've talked about Somerville. I got to tell you, I've just torn up my speech, and I've got a new one for you. And I want to get you to know a little more about the person. The person in business circles, her friends call her Attorney Diva Regina. And that's who I'm going to talk about tonight. An original diva, and I've got some evidence that I kind of walk through with you. The first is jewelry. So I'm long past retirement age. I should be on the Cape, you know, smoking my pipe and doing whatever. But I have to go to work every day because Regina is a big aficionado of jewelry. She's up with my wife one night. Yeah, I see you nodding your head over there. Telling her that you've got to get rid of all this crap Frank buys you and come to my jeweler, and I've been broke ever since. So this is a little bit of payback. If I could have the first slide when you get a moment out there. So this is a true story. This picture was taken 2 days ago by me in Regina's house. This is what she does when she goes home at night. She looks in the mirror and she says, "Wow, I am fabulous." And we all agree. And that picture is really says it all to me. Can we get the next one? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I must have taken this out of my glove compartment by mistake. We are a pair, I'll tell you that. So, diva number one, jewelry. Her jewelry is magnificent. She's very understated tonight, but I do want you to take maybe not that picture home with you, but the other one to see where we are. You know, in addition to the jewelry, Regina is a classic in the Italian Diva Handbook. So what does an Italian Diva Handbook have as the first line? You gotta cook. This woman is one of the all-time great cooks on the planet. She's got a kitchen that could feed everybody in this room anytime you wanted to. And she's well known for her talents. She's well known for the entertainment. Can I have the next picture, please? But you can't take the Somerville out of Regina. So if you want to find Regina, you know, all you Chestnut Hill yuppies out there, you know, you go to Wegmans and Fromage and all these joints. My pal is in the Waltham Costco Saturday morning. And I was in the car sneaking there while she was buying her groceries for a dinner party that night. Again, you can't make this up. These are all true stories, I swear. But that's Regina, and there she is. She wears that chef's hat. You know, kind of a lot of people think she's a little, but we all know you as just a marvelous, marvelous cook and entertainer and the like. So, Diva 2, cooking. Again, these are all facts. You know, the next one I thought might be interesting for you to hear about is perfection at entertaining. Now, how many of you have been invited to Regina's home for a party? Okay, one. See what I mean? See what I mean? How many of you guys? None, right? One, two. She works with him, right? Give me a break. I think that coming out of tonight, when she gives her little remarks, I'm hoping that she's saying, we're going to do just this same group again, Friday night at her house, and we're going to party hardy all night long. Anybody think that's a good idea? You're going to be just as broke as I am. So I have another picture, if you could pull this one up. So there is my pal, attorney diva Regina, in the kitchen. This happened to be one night when she was teaching Brian Raffinelli how to put on a function. And if you look at that little crown on her head, she wears it to sleep. It's really pretty amazing. It looks great on you. And cooking at Somerville, cooking at in the Yuppies in Chestnut Hill. Give me a break, will you? Let's go back to Somerville. Diva cooking, diva chef, diva the like. The other thing that I wanted you to kind of focus on is we've all heard what a fabulous mentor attorney diva Regina really is. And you've heard nothing but women, right? She's actually fabulous with men as well. And one person in particular, which some of us in this room have known for decades, Larry Fish. Larry Fish came out and had never gone to finishing school when he graduated from college. Can I get the next slide, please? So Regina took him aside and taught him how to have no ego, taught Larry how to make sure that, he cared about the common things in life. He smelled the coffee when he got up in the morning. All of your friends really thank you for what you've done to Larry, by the way. Larry is in Hawaii tonight. Of course he's in Hawaii tonight. Where else would he be? But this mentoring of Larry Fish, one of our pals, is truly an extraordinary change in personality. Thanks, Regina, attorney diva Regina, for your great efforts on that score. I just want to close by kind of talking a little bit about some of the things that you've done and are important to all of us, which we've heard about today. But I will tell you that when I think of this woman, the number one thing I think of, and we kind of all grew up in professions and worked on big clients all around the city. And you have professional relationships with people, and lots of them, and they're terrific relationships. One of the ones that we were yakking about a little bit tonight is with Regina. They're all friendships. And I thank you for your counsel. I thank you for your wisdom. I thank you for being you. Congratulations.
All right. Nice job, Frank. Mr. Frank Doyle, ladies and gentlemen. Let that man know. Beautiful. Really, really nice. You got some great friends, Regina. Some great friends. He's cheap with the jewelry? We're going to fix that. Right now, I want to bring up one of your dear friends who you've worked with, and one of your colleagues who's very excited to be here tonight. If we didn't, it wouldn't be a good roast if we didn't bring up the humor home with one of Regina's Goodwin colleagues and friends and the current chair of Goodwin Proctor's Boston office. Ladies and gentlemen, I want the band to play something fitting for this one. How about Can't Get Next to You, Babe? And please welcome home our final roaster, Mr. Andy Sukoff. You got it, baby. Let that man know.
Can't get next to you. Can't get next to you, babe. Can't get next to you.
Thank you, Jimmy. I knew I was going to hate going last. But I can't. Did you guys see Jimmy's hands? Thank you. How about a rim shot or something?
What's wrong with these hands?
So, as Jimmy said, I'm Andy Sukoff, and I'm one of Regina's partners from Goodwin Proctor. I'm really delighted to be here tonight to honor Regina and to support the Whittier Street Health Center. I've known Regina for 25 years. I want to start out by saying just one thing. I'm really hoping I don't get fired. So shortly after I agreed to roast Regina, I had a dream. I got up here and I made fun of her for still living with her mother. I made some jokes about some famous pizza place that you were named after, some Leaning Tower stuff. I thought it was all funny, humorous, good-natured, for a good cause. I got back to the office and I was a pariah. Everybody hated me. You see, everybody loves Regina, and I mean everybody, from the mailroom to the boardroom. She genuinely has an interest in people. It's really an important part of who she is. So then I heard that her mother and her extended family were going to be here, and let's just acknowledge Joe and her family again, and thank you for sharing her with us for all these years. So before I went too crazy roasting, I figured I better talk to Joe, make sure I'm not going to ruffle any feathers. So I saw her about a week ago, and I went up to her and I said, I just want you to know I'm one of the guys who's going to be roasting Regina, and I want you to know I love her. I care about her, but it's all good-natured fun, and I'm pretty sure she was listening to me, and she looks up to me and she says, have you tried the lamb? I think there's curry in it. It's delicious. So we don't have to worry. She's not going to hear a thing we say. Of course, I'm completely kidding, because we all know that her mother is as sharp as a tack. Regina tells the story of leaving for work on the day that she's transitioning from chairman to being chairman emeritus, and she acknowledges that fact to her mom, and her mom looks at her and she says, just remember, Regina, it's taking two men to do what you were doing alone. I hate to call her mother out on this, but it's actually taking at least 3 men. And I know because in addition to being chairman and managing partner, Regina also took care of the Boston office, which is now my responsibility. And trust me, I understand just how big a really small part of those shoes I'm filling. And trust me, I don't have small feet, Jimmy. Thank you. These guys are missing all the opportunities for rim shots. As you've heard tonight, Regina rose from humble beginnings. Her background was definitely not white shoe. The loud music is good, right? In fact, you might call it more like a dirty sneaker bring-up. So growing up with her extended family in a 4-family house in Somerville really grounded her and set her on the course to be the caring, philanthropic, and inclusive leader that she is today. As the first female managing partner of a top-tier law firm, Regina became a pioneer in advancing leadership for women. She believes work-life balance is an essential for everybody in the workplace, except herself, of course. Because for Regina, work-life balance means working till 2 or 3 in the morning to be sure that the needs of her clients, her partners, and the broader community, which she cares so deeply about, are met. So we've heard a little bit about it tonight, but Regina has this unbelievable ability to get things done with people. We're lucky because she's our special sauce. You might have your mind dead set on something, march into her office to convince her about it, and before you know it, she's changed your view to her view, and you're out convincing others of it. She uses these superhero-like powers in her work with clients, getting the most challenging or adversarial transactions completed, tricky board situations handled, or when we're recruiting or growing our firm. Regina's our closer. We heard a little bit about it tonight. All we have to do is get someone to the table, and we knew Regina would close the deal. We heard tonight Regina has advanced degrees from Harvard, Oxford, Georgetown, but what most people don't know is that Regina was actually recruited for Harvard, and she received a full scholarship for their varsity shopping team. If shopping was an Olympic event, Regina, gold medalist. But what she really likes, we heard a little bit about that as well, is bargain store shopping. She's a power bargain shopper. Costco, TJ Maxx, Nirvana. She's a fantastic cook, as we've heard. She loves entertaining. Whip up dinner for 20, 40? Sure. I'll stop by Costco, pick up a side of beef, case of wine, we'll be all set. She loves to cook so much that she added an entire room onto her pretty much brand new kitchen just to house all of her cookbooks. We're pretty sure it's where she keeps the recipe for the secret sauce. So she's been a leader her whole life. She was the valedictorian and president of the student council in high school, president of her house at Harvard, president of the Middle Common Room at Oxford, whatever that is, editor-in-chief of the Georgetown Law Review. She always insists that other people ask her to lead, but we all know that it's because people want to be led by and follow natural leaders. So I was thinking about this, and I had this idea. Don't you think Regina could be president? Forget the Supreme Court. President. Think about it. In addition to all of her qualifications, I did some vetting. I checked with our IT department. She always uses a secure server, never has any kind of special, separate, secret home server. I happen to know that she's not a socialist. She builds bridges, remodels houses and kitchens, not walls. Well, maybe small, tasteful stone walls, and she pays for them, trust me. She doesn't say whatever she thinks and then tweet out a correction after someone else tells her she was wrong. She really is presidential. There are a host of people in our current race who I think could take a page out of her book. So who's with me? Regina in 2020. Regina, we love you. You're a pioneer, a leader, an innovator, and a change agent. Thank you for all you've done for me. Thank you for all that you've done for Goodwin. We're so fortunate to have been led by you. We really are. Thank you for what you've done for the Whittier Street Health Center. Thank you for letting me poke fun at you tonight. Please don't fire me. And I'm ready to start working on the campaign.
Let's give all of the roasters another round of applause. Thanks to all of you again for being here. Regina has made another history again in our lives. The roast was launched 22 years ago, and this roast we've raised the largest amount in the 22-year history. Wow. So again, Regina, thank you for all you've done to support our mission, transforming lives. Your investment will definitely reap huge rewards. We want to invite you to the podium, so we do a quick presentation, and then she has the microphone, and now that we've heard the scoop from all of the roasters, she can say whatever she wants to say about all of you. And so I'll get out of the way so she can do that. We're presenting Regina with 2 awards, a framed copy of your poster. I love it. Watch the caricature. Regina leading a bunch of women and a bunch of men, which she's done all her life. And a plaque from Whittier Street Health Center, the board of directors and staff and patients for all that you've done for us, for being a pioneer, leader, innovator, and change agent. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Well, I really, this will be memorable. I really thought I was too boring to be roasted, but I guess I do have my idiosyncrasies, after all. First, I want to say how honored I am to have been selected as Whittier's roastee this year. And I'm delighted to play a part in the annual fundraising for this outstanding organization, which I'm going to talk a little bit about later. You know, yet for all the accolades that have been bestowed on me, I've never thought of myself as a pioneer, really, for achieving as a woman what I believed I could do as a person. And while I'm proud and humbled that so many people look to me as a pioneer and role model, I view myself as simply somebody who was given an opportunity and I made the most of it. Making your way to the head of the table has its own challenges, as those of you know in this room who have led organizations, but it always starts with an opportunity. And looking back, I feel lucky to have been given that opportunity. I also feel fortunate that as a young girl, I was dared to dream. You will never go farther than your reach, my father would say, so reach high. He came to this country after World War II to build a new life, and he told me over and over again that there were no limits to what I could achieve. To his core, he believed in the promise of America, and I believed him. So tonight, on this occasion, I'm thrilled to be recognized to be amongst Boston's visionary leaders. There are so many to thank, and I know it's almost 9 o'clock, and we promised you get home by then, so I'm not going to thank everyone, but I do want to thank my roasters. I didn't know what to expect tonight, but you guys were great, and I thank you very much, each one of you. I won't give them a tit for tat. That's a guy thing. You know, I'm just going to... We women, we're bigger than that. We can live and let live. I thought they were pretty funny. You know, they have. I think they may have another career, Jimmy. What do you think?
I think they're great. Absolutely.
But Jimmy, you were fabulous.
Well, thank you.
You were
And you can see why she won the award, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for keeping us moving along with your wit and wisdom. So where are you playing next?
I'm all over the place, Regina. They can find out at jimmytingle.com.
jimmydingle.com, you heard it. I want to thank LaToya Edwards, who had to leave because she is getting up tomorrow for a 4 o'clock in the morning show. And I want to thank all of our sponsors tonight. You know, this room is filled with lots of supporters of Whittier Health Center, lots of friends of our chair, of our committee chair, and of the Rose Committee itself. We have Mass Mentoring, a board that I chaired for 5 years. We have Simmons College. Where's the Simmons College group? A board that I chair today. All my peeps are back there. We have my Goodwin Proctor contingent over here. And then my family in the front. And I thank Tom May as well for his great support of Whittier and his wife over the years for all their support. As all of you know, for more than 80 years, Whittier has provided high-quality, accessible health care to Boston's most vulnerable communities. Whittier's work is critical to this city. I can't tell you how critical. And you know, when LaToya was talking about how Frederica said I carried Boston on my back, Frederica carries Whittier on her back all the time. When people say, why did you agree to be I have my friends say, why did you ever agree to be a roastee? I said, for Frederica, I agreed to be a roastee. And for Whittier, I agreed to be a roastee because this is a worthy cause. And Frederica has been toiling in this field for a very long time, and she has earned all of our support.
Yeah.
And so when I talk about, you know, the one thing that I had in my life, which I was so proud about, was opportunity. We need to give Whittier an opportunity, and the patients and clients of Whittier an opportunity, and that's why I'm so committed to what Frederica does. So I also want to thank my partners at Goodwin Proctor, who indulged me for 16 years as I led the firm, as we went from a single Boston office to 9 offices worldwide, both coasts, London, Hong Kong, Frankfurt, and yesterday we announced we're opening in Paris. And so it has been a wild ride. They suspended their disbelief and went on it with me, and I thank them for their patience and forbearance, and for giving me the opportunity to lead and to make such an effect on the life of such a great firm. And finally, I want to thank my mother. You've heard a lot about my mother, Jo, who's sitting in the front, Josephine, who's sitting in the front row. She turns 94 later this month. She continues to be my greatest cheerleader, and of course, my greatest critic. Reverend Hammond said earlier, he mentioned the power, the people who run this town list that came out, Boston Magazine's Power List. Well, when the first list came out, I was in my office and my secretary came in and said, "Oh, you made the Power List." And I was, kind of proud. And I was like, "Well, that's kind of fun." So I called home and I said, "Ma, the Boston Magazine just got published. I made the, 50 people who run this town list, the Power List." And there was a pause. And she said, "What number are you?" And then when I told her, she said, "Well, who's above you? Read me the names of the people above you." So, it's sort of unrelenting. We recently went shopping for a dress for her to go to a function, and I took a dress off the rack, and she said, "I think that's for an older woman." The 100-year-old women category. And then just last Saturday, I could go on forever. Last Saturday, we went to a memorial service for the father of a good friend, one of my partners at the firm, and her mother was there, and she was in a wheelchair, and she saw us walking in. And she looked at my mother and said, "Oh, Jo, it's so wonderful to see you." And so my mother looked at her and said, "Sherry, what are you doing in a wheelchair?" And Sherry said, "Well, I'm going to turn 90 soon." Mother said, "Sherry, I'm 94 and I'm going for 100. So all I can say is I hope I inherited her genes and that I have as long and wonderful a life as she. And I thank her for everything that she has done and still does for me. Despite all the slings and arrows, sitting on the hot seat tonight was an honor and a privilege. I'm humbled to be included in the company of so many great Bostonians, Mahoney excluded, of course, who've come before me and have been roasted and toasted for this outstanding cause. Thank you, Whittier, for all that you do for the community. Thank you to all of you for all of that you contribute. And if anyone wants to make a donation on the way out, we're still collecting pledge cards. Have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for being here tonight.
Regina Pisa, ladies and gentlemen, let her know. Beautiful job, beautiful job. Thank you all so much for coming. The band, the roasters, the head table, and the great Regina Pisa and her family. Thank you. Thank you, man. You too. Great job.
Less than 1 minute, oh, I never thought through love would be making one as lovely as she.